Hello and welcome to Sunflower Philosophy Tarot. My name is Juliana, and today's Timeless Pick a Card reading is about how to beat the winter blues or get yourself out of a rut. So this could be like literal winter blues if you are in the middle of winter and you're just feeling, a little stagnant with these gray days and the cold weather. Or it could be more of a metaphorical winter if you feel like things in your life have been at a bit of a standstill, but maybe you don't experience winter where you live, or you're just not in winter when you come across this, but you feel like there's a message for you. Take it as it resonates, as always. And I do want to say before I get into the rest of this introduction that if you are currently experiencing some more severe symptoms that you feel like could be more of a clinical situation, something that you need to seek professional medical help with or mental health guidance for, please take this as your sign to do so. If you know that that is your situation, if that's something that resonates with you, that you've been feeling the need to do, please take this as your sign to do so. Just want to put that out there because I know it can be really difficult to take that step. And so anyone who finds themselves here and really knows that that's what they want to do to help them through whatever they're going through right now, just want to say that I'm here for you, and that I wanted to put that out there because I know it's a difficult journey to go through. But with that all being said, if you are here for this reading and you're ready to get into the group selection, then you can skip ahead. I'm going to do a brief centering exercise now. So if you want to get grounded, if you want to just do a little meditation with me for a few minutes, stick around. If not, check the timestamps in the description box and then you can go wherever you want to go. But for those of you who would like to get centered, I would like to ask you to just take a moment to get yourself comfortable in whatever way you need to. If you are driving or doing anything that requires your full attention, I ask that you just skip this part for now and come back to it when you are unoccupied. And when you are ready and when you are relaxed and comfortable, you may, if you feel called to, close your eyes and turn your attention to your breathing. And as you turn your attention to your breathing and you feel that inhale and you feel the air flowing out on that exhale, I'd like you to imagine that with each breath you take, you just melt a little bit further into the surface that you're resting upon. Just feel your muscles relax and let go just a bit more. And just notice with each breath that you become even more relaxed. And enjoy the sensation of relaxation as much as you can. And as you are doing that, listening to the sound of my voice, as it guides you to become more centered within yourself and in touch with your intuition, you may bring your attention to your heart space, to the center of your chest, maybe to your heart directly. And as you bring your attention there, just notice what's going on in that area. If you have any feelings, sensations, if any impressions come to you, allow yourself to notice what's going on there for you. Just become aware of it and allow it to be. Maybe you bring some light curiosity to any sensations that appear there. And as you continue to notice this area, you may begin to imagine that you are in fact inhaling and exhaling through your heart itself. Imagining that the flow of air in and out is clearing that area of anything that needs to be cleared, anything that's ready to be released and let go is just simply flowing out with your breath, transforming into positive energy, into love, whatever it is that you want to put out. And when you're breathing in, you're inhaling love, peace, clarity, whatever it is that you feel you need in this moment. Inhale that right into your heart space. Just allow it to circulate throughout your body. And as you do so, you might start to feel a bit lighter. Maybe you'll feel a bit more relaxed, at peace. Maybe you just notice the sensations or notice the thoughts that are crossing your mind as you do this exercise and let them be what they are. But as you relax even more, know that you are always connected to your intuition, that you are always easily able to discern messages that are truly meant for you and aligned with your highest good. You can easily gravitate towards the messages and the group today that is meant for you. And you are exactly who you need to be right now, where you need to be in your life. You are a worthwhile and worthy human being. You are a worthwhile and worthy soul. And you deserve to feel loved, to feel content, to be at peace with yourself, and to be appreciated. And with this reading, feel free to set an intention for what you would like to gain from this reading, how you would like to feel after this reading, or just how you would like to feel for the rest of the day. You can set that intention now. Notice if there's any thoughts, feelings, imagery that comes along with it. And then when you're ready, you can release that intention, trusting in it, knowing that in some way, somehow, it will come to pass. And you can just allow yourself to flow along with the ride. And in just a moment, you will head over to the group selection and feel which group or groups you are drawn to and select your group and hear the messages that are meant for you. But for right now, if you feel like you would like to remain in meditation for a bit longer, you can feel free to pause the video and be with yourself for just a bit more until you feel ready to move on. And those of you who are ready now to head over to the group selection and get into your reading, we will do so in just a moment. Okay, thank you so much to those of you who joined me for the brief centering exercise, and thank you to those who did not, who are also here. I'm happy to have you here either way. I'm just going to go over the groups that we have today and a little bit more about the reading that we have. As I mentioned, this is a reading about dealing with winter blues, whether they're literal winter blues or more metaphorical, you're just feeling like you're in a sort of a low-key or a little bit of a stuck period in your life. We're just going to be looking at what the cards have to say for you about your situation, maybe some advice that they have for you. And as always, it's going to be with the intention to be in your highest good and that you will receive the messages that are meant for you and let anything that's not meant for you just pass along for whomever it is meant for. It's not really going to be a tarot reading because technically we don't have any tarot cards out here. I'm using all of my blue decks. And so we've got two sets of angel cards, two different sets of angel cards. So they're quite different, and you'll see when we pull them that they're quite different, but they're both angel cards. Then we have these Moonology cards here. We have these Feathered Omen cards here with birds on them. And then we have these cards with quotes from Rumi, who I believe was a poet, maybe also a philosopher, but I'm actually, I do know this, but I'm blanking. But you probably, if you know, are aware who Rumi is, that's great. If not, the words will just contribute, as all the other cards do, to a broader message that we're going to get as we pull each card and see how they all come together for you. So we have 4 groups today, as well. As you can see, I have 4 different shades of blue for you to choose from based on these paint chips that I had lying around. So we're going to just go through those, and I'll read off the names that they have, and you can choose based on that. You can choose based on the vibe, the shade that you like, whatever it is. Trust your intuition. And let's get started with group 1. We have Venezuelan Sea. It's a little bit greenish, but it is a shade of blue, And I'm just moving it around so hopefully in different lighting you can kind of see how it looks. And then for group 2, we have Hidden Sapphire. For group 3, we have Washington Blue. And for group 4, we have Bell Bottom Blues, like the song. Not my favorite song, but maybe it's a song that has meaning for you. And those are our groups today. So feel free to take all the time you need, pause the video if you need to, go down to the timestamps in the description, pick your group, and I will see you over in your reading. Hi, group 1. If you selected Venezuelan Sea, this shade of blue, then you are in the right place, and this is your reading about how you can beat your winter blues, whatever that looks like for you, or just messages that can be encouraging, maybe clarifying for you about your situation and where you're at right now. So I'm going to pull a card from each of these decks out here, and we'll put them all together and see what your messages are. Keeping it pretty simple today. So let's just get right into it. Group. Did I say group? I feel like I said group 2, but you're group 1. So if I did say group 2, sorry about that. Or maybe I just made that up in my head. Maybe group 2 also has some messages for some people here. But I haven't done that one yet in real time, so I guess we'll both see. So group 1, let's get into it. So first let me grab an angel card for you. We have beginnings. All right. And let me put this over, actually, put it down here. Out of frame, we don't want this to be too cluttered. Now let's get an angel card from this deck for group 1. Message about beating winter blues. Actually, I'm going to take this flipped over and it didn't flip out, but I'm going to take it as because that is like a shade of blue. That's funny. I'm going to shuffle up one more time to see if there's another. Yeah, there's another one that wants to come out. Another blue one, Indriel. Not all of these angel cards are blue, so that's really funny. We'll read them in a moment. Then we have from the Moonology deck, let's see, for group 1. What message do we have from the Moonology deck for group 1, please? Ooh. We have Don't Let Pride Get in Your Way, Full Moon in Leo. And from your bird cards, let's see what we've got. What have we got from bird cards? Group 1. We have Hawk, Guardianship and Vision Strong. And last but not least, from Rumi, we have, what do we got from Rumi? You are in the ear. You are in the mind. You are in every burning heart. What am I saying? You are I. Interesting. Okay. So let's see. Are we in frame? Yeah, we're in frame. Okay, we've got beginnings. Life is a series of cycles, and a time of rebirth is indicated for you. This may mean a new phase in a relationship, the germination of a fresh idea, or the development of qualities in you, like laughter, light, or hope. It may herald a total change. Do not be afraid to let go of the familiar, for the new cannot enter until the old and outworn has departed. Your angel guidance is to accept the new, for it will be welcome when it arrives. Birth is a vulnerable time. The fragile life force needs to be protected and nurtured within you. Ask the angels to guide the new beginnings in your life safely to maturity. And the affirmation is, I welcome and nurture the new in my life. Well, group 1, that certainly is a hopeful indicator, I feel, especially for a reading like this, because often when we're in this sort of just like funk, you know, this sort of stagnancy that I was feeling for a lot of, like, that's kind of the vibe I was tapping into, like people who are feeling a bit stagnant, stuck right now, or just a little bit down about where they're at. There is hope here for you. Hope is beginning to bloom or blossom, or it's around the corner, right? There's like it's like the dark before the dawn kind of situation. And so it feels like this wintry kind of period that you've been in, especially if you've been experiencing more of a desire to just be by yourself or stay in or just stay closed and protected a bit more than usual. This feels like it's preparing you for it's like a hibernation period, right? Like I feel like very literally this group has been in a bit of a hibernation, and it feels like the hibernation is about to come to an end. With Azure here, we have your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith. Don't try to force it to happen. Yeah, so this is like real. I'm feeling like this is like a natural cycle. Like you're in the midst of a natural cycle that is naturally like any like hibernation, any like stagnation isn't even the right word, but like being still or stationary or feeling like things aren't moving has been part of the natural cycle of like germination, of like time that you've needed that is naturally coming to an end. And anything that you've been manifesting or creating or hoping for that hasn't maybe taken off immediately is about to take off in a sense. We have Indriel here as well with you are a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all of its inhabitants. And perhaps for some of you, I do feel like for a lot of you here, there's this sense that feeling more closed off, maybe not feeling like you want to put yourself out there as much, or feeling like even if you try to put yourself out there, it's just not working. There's this sense of being a bit closed off, even if you don't really want to, like feeling like this call to share yourself more, to put yourself out there more, but also not feeling ready or able to do it. It feels like this has been maybe part of your frustration at this time, because there is this deeper call that you have to some kind of, the word mission is coming to mind, but it could be a mission for you for like anything. Like perhaps you want to use your voice to help people by standing up for people in a certain kind of way, or perhaps you want to share some ideas that could be helpful to other people. Maybe you want to show people what it is that you create or what it is that you do and talk about it more openly so that you can share knowledge that you feel is important for people to have, that you have because maybe you're in a specific position to have that knowledge and you want to share it with other people. And that time is coming. Like it hasn't been time yet. Maybe you've been really frustrated by that. You've just been feeling like not ready and you're not sure why you can't get past that feeling, or things have just been getting in the way that have been keeping you from being able to focus your energy on sharing yourself more, and that any deterrents in that area are coming to an end now. With don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. When we have a full moon in Leo, like that's to me a lot about shining, sharing yourself, generosity. So when we have a full moon here, I feel like there's a culmination that's happening where you're finally able to put yourself out there, where something's finally seeing the light of day, where you're finally expressing yourself. And there's also a generosity in spirit, and maybe literally, maybe you are coming into the ability to help people in a way that you haven't been able to before. That's what it feels like. There's coming into your power. With don't let pride get in your way as well, I feel like that could be about asking for help in some way. So for those of you who feel like in order to move into this new beginning, there is some kind of assistance that you might need to get over a certain hump. Maybe you need like specifically like assistance. Maybe it's like in the beginning when I gave a disclaimer at the beginning of the reading about if you're dealing with like being in a funk, but you feel like it's something that you need like professional medical help for, things like that, that can be a really difficult step to take, especially if you're not accustomed to maybe even being around people who find that acceptable, right? The need to ask for help could for some people inspire a lot of hesitation, especially out of pride, out of the feeling like you shouldn't need this help, like you should be able to take care of it yourself. But it feels like there's something, whether it's that or something else that's more related to getting some project off the ground or getting yourself out there more, that you are being called to to ask for help and to set aside any pride that you have and just say, hey, you know what? This is my goal. And even just asking the universe or angels or like whatever, if you believe in a higher power, or even if you don't, but you're at the point where you're just kind of tempted to like try it and see what happens, like setting aside your pride and just putting it out there to the universe and being like, hey, this is what I want to do. Can you help me? Please help me make it happen and see what happens. Like there is this feeling that is either necessary or at least it's a helpful step that will help you get out of your own way because it feels like almost like there's an unwillingness to ask for help or an unwillingness to put yourself out there in some way that is linked to pride that is the blockage that's in your way. And that's being cleared right now. And I feel like it's honestly naturally going to dissipate. It's just bringing this to your awareness has the ability to help you see it for what it is and clear it a lot faster and more easily because you know what it is. You can name what it is that was blocking you, and you can say, all right, I choose to step outside of this way of thinking. I choose to do something different that I wasn't doing before, and that just makes everything so much easier for you. With Hawk and Guardianship and Vision Strong, actually, let's read from the Bird Book for this. But there's definitely like a protective energy, and that's where I feel like for some of you, I feel like there's an encouragement from like any beings that you may believe in or communicate with. There's this general message of comfort and protection, like they've got your back, they're with you. Even if you're not necessarily connected with specific beings or you're not sure if you believe in that, there's this feeling that there are people around you who have your back, that you have protection, you're safe in some way to be who you are, to do what you need to do. But there's also a protective energy, I feel like, coming from you. And perhaps some of where your frustration is coming from is that you've been feeling like there are people that you want to help or be there for that you have, up to this point, not felt the ability to be there for. And that's where this frustration is coming from, which, again, this cycle of feeling that, like, almost like impotence is the word that's coming to mind. Like, feeling impotent, feeling a lack of power, helplessness, that is coming to an end as you are stepping into a fiercer, stronger, more empowered energy with this hawk here, with this lion here, this Indriel here with the wings, you know, like taking flight. Like, I'm feeling like wings as a source of power, of mobility, of finally being able to act and move. And in Azura here, this angel is like it looks like is taking flight, taking off. So again, like there's an aspect of movement and action, that of freedom, a new level of freedom and empowerment that you are reaching. And with Hawk, when we read from the book, we have, the hawk is one of the most amazing raptors, which are universally recognized as guardians and messengers. Hawks spend 3/4 of their day perched somewhere observing the area around them, searching to detect the subtlest of movements, patiently waiting until the best moment to strike. Because of this habit, the appearance of a hawk can forewarn us of possibilities for new ventures and possible trouble. Your own perceptions will be heightened through the coming few weeks. Trust your perceptions at this time. The powerful beak and talons of the hawk are other outstanding characteristics. With its great ability to grasp without fear, hawk encourages us to grasp our own opportunities when they present themselves. Hawks have a scaled leg to protect themselves against bites when striking prey, reassuring us that there is protection for the things we strike out for. Yeah, that's what I was saying before about, like, there's this protection around you, like you are safe to go for it. Hawk's appearance always heralds a time of greater strength and vision, which will help us tremendously in our present endeavors. We will have protection in our journeys and endeavors. Now is the time to gallantly move forward with them. Yeah, basically what I've been saying. And wait, there was something else. What? There was something that was triggered for me when I was reading that. Oh yes. So there is this feeling as well that this isn't about like forced movement or action. This is about being ready to move or strike when an opportunity presents itself, right? So you are also encouraged to appreciate times of stillness and recognize those times of stillness as not like, for some of you, I feel like maybe some of the funk you've been in, feeling down a bit or feeling stuck, has been from not recognizing the value and the necessity of stillness, of taking time to go within, of the way in which that is an opportunity to hone our connection with ourselves and also to prepare ourselves consciously or subconsciously. And often it's not fully conscious. We don't necessarily always know or understand why we're in the season of our lives that we're in, but in some way it still prepares us for the next adventure, the next step, right? And that's what I feel like you've been in, and you've been given the opportunity to learn a bit more about the importance of rest, stillness, of being with yourself, of also staying still and letting something come to you, and recognizing that there is often a perfect moment to strike that you don't have to force yourself into. Like, I feel like you've got a finely honed intuition that will alert you as soon as there's an opportunity there, and you can just go for it and trust. And so that's what it feels like you've been almost learning through this sort of wintry period for yourself. And you are in the ear, you are in the mind, you are in every burning heart. What am I saying? You are I. This, to me, the message that I'm getting with this in context with everything else is a greater sense of connection with the flow of the universe, with the flow of how things are meant to go for you in your life. So, like with like when you're being in that stillness, when you are allowing things to flow towards you and not feeling like you have to push yourself to go for things or force yourself towards things, you're in the flow of everything. So you're much more in tune with the natural order, with how things are meant to unfold. And so there's much less pressure, much less feeling of separation, of disconnectedness. You're much more connected. And you just simply know that things are flowing, things are working, things are moving. And so then you know when something is for you and when it's the right opportunity to strike. Like, this is just about that connection, that oneness, that feeling of being in the vibe, in the flow of the universe. And this is letting you know that you can trust that. And that if you've been feeling a little bit stuck and still, but then also feeling like maybe you're meant to be in this place right now, you can trust that intuition, trust that instinct, and know that it is shifting. If you've been feeling like things have been about to shift and change, you're right. And in fact, it's not really about to. I feel like it is, and it's more of a matter of, this is like meant to trigger a shift in your mindset from things are about to change to things are changing right now. Things are shifting right now. A new beginning is happening right now. And to take that on, take that in, and to step into that fully. And by choice, you can choose to have this be the moment where you step into a new cycle and where things begin. And if you're resonating with this, it feels like you're ready for this. This is what you want. This is what you're moving towards. And this is just reassuring you that you're right. You can trust your instincts, and you are also protected and safe enough to take that leap, take that next step out more, enter the new beginning that you've been ushering in, that you've been manifesting, that you've been waiting for. It's no longer are you waiting, right? Like, the waiting, the stillness, it all served its purpose, and it's been actually very important for you. And now it's time to really embrace the mindset that whatever you've been waiting for, you're no longer waiting. Now you're stepping into the mindset of, it's here, and I'm being it, and I am it, and it's coming in, and it might, maybe the signs of it, maybe your recognition of this new beginning happening will trickle in slowly, maybe it'll build slowly, but start to recognize all around you how this new phase has already begun, and you will start to feel that momentum picking up quite a bit. So it really does feel like you're coming out of winter and entering spring as we speak. Maybe literally, maybe when you're watching this, it's what's happening in the seasons as well. But again, like, I feel like this is very much about your personal inner journey, and like you're going from like this feeling of being in a winter phase to being in a spring phase. And it's just naturally time to start to shift into that mindset to really be like, all right, this is where we're going. This is where we're moving. And I'm going to accept that I'm already there and begin to act accordingly. But in alignment with like your body, with your mind, and in alignment with where you're at. Again, like it's not about pushing or forcing things, but it's about really being in tune with those internal cycles and really recognizing like where you are at intuitively, which I feel like you've been preparing to do, and I feel like you are very in touch, actually. So this should, mostly for, I feel like a lot of you, this is really confirming things that you've already been picking up on. Any other messages for group 1? No, that is it, group 1. So thank you so much for watching this reading, and please, let me know in the comments how you enjoyed it. If this resonated with you, if there are things that you're excited about, you want to talk about, whatever you want to share, please feel free to do so. I'd love to hear about it. If you want to like and subscribe, that would be awesome as well. If you're interested in personal readings, we do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com, our website, so you can check out our offerings there. And I work with my mom. She is also a tarot reader, but we're both hypnotists, and that's hypnosis is a big part of what we do. So if you're interested in hypnosis and how it can be used as a tool for helping you get out of ruts and get into a new frame of mind, take on new identities and move things forward in your life where you feel like you've been stuck for a long time. If you're interested in that, you can check out more about that on our website as well. Or you can check out our podcast, which will be on Sunflower Philosophy. I don't know if we're going to change the name to Sunflower Philosophy Podcast on YouTube, but it's Sunflower Philosophy. So yeah, I'll link that as well, actually, if you want to just hear my mom and I just talk more, chat about things. That's all, group 1. I hope you have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, group 2. If you selected Hidden Sapphire, then you are in the right place, and this is your reading all about how you can beat your winter blues a bit, if you've been feeling a little stuck, a little bit down, with some messages of hope and advice that we can give you today. So I'm going to start by just pulling a card from each of these decks out here, and we're going to put that all together to give you your message. So let's start with these angel cards here. So group 2, how can we beat, that popped right out. Well, we have Archangel Jophiel. Archangel Jophiel works on the golden ray, drawing wisdom from source. Ask him to illuminate you and help you to connect with your own deep knowing. He will also help you to learn and absorb information. So if you're studying or involved in any form of education, divine assistance is available to you now. Call on Archangel Jophiel for direction and strength. He will help you to remove negativity and become open-minded, clear, and wise. The angel reminds you it is time for you to wear the golden cloak of wisdom. So visualize yourself surrounded in gold light and be wise. Affirmation: I connect with my inner wisdom. Excellent. So next, let's get from this angel deck. So messages for group 2. Well, that's 2 cards. We have Archangel Raphael, so we've got another archangel. I am helping you to heal physical challenges in yourself and others. You are a healer like me. And we have Rosetta. You have a gift for working with young people, and your divine purpose involves helping or teaching or parenting children. All right. And we have these Moonology cards here. Group 2. What Moonology cards have a message for you, group 2? Right now, we have the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. Then we have these feathered omen cards. Let's see what bird has a message for you, group 2. That's too many. What bird has a message for you, group 2? Bird or birds, group 2. we have Kingfisher, Sunshine, Prosperity, and Love. It did come out in reverse, and these do take reversal, so I'm going to leave it reverse, but we'll talk about it. And then last but not least, we have these Rumi cards. And we got two. We have Accept the Refusal of the Beloved. Don't plead for affection. Witness how the beloved freely comes your way. And like a fearless moth, dive into the flame. Why be linked to your obsessions? Why be entrapped in such a chain? Okay. So group 2. It feels like part of your sort of winter blues, maybe feeling a bit stuck, stagnant in some way, is related to some kind of desire that you have that might feel out of reach at this time, or some kind of desire or fixation that you have that is, it could almost be like an obsessive tendency that is sort of a like almost like a coping mechanism for like when you're feeling maybe stuck or down, you might resort to sort of like obsessively trying to make something work, or obsessively thinking about this like situation or this person or something that you want. And there's this feeling of like deep desire, but a feeling like, but I can't have whatever it is I want, I can't have it. And so that's sort of creating this like cycle of obsession, fixation that doesn't really get resolved. And it does feel like you are in the midst of healing this. It feels like this is something that is healing for you. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is something that you are aware of, you would be aware of to some degree already. Maybe even something that you're intentionally working on, intentionally healing already. So with the... Actually, I'm going to read from the Feathered Omens book for Kingfisher in reversed because... Where are you? I just saw you. I just saw you, Kingfisher. Where'd you go? Also, like, pretty blue bird that you got for this blue-themed reading. I think that feels very appropriate. Oh my god, I keep seeing it and then it keeps like disappearing. Maybe that's a bit of a metaphor for something that you're dealing with in your life right now, where like there's something that like you're so close, maybe you get so close to like feeling like you have something, or that you've achieved a certain goal, and then it just like feels like it keeps slipping away. So we have Kingfisher reversed. There's a bit of a dark cloud hanging over you right now. Well, that's fair. This is a winter blues reading, so that's kind of part of the deal that we're talking about today. It is mostly self-created, but it is hindering your ability to find sunshine. You are hanging on to the past. You may be dwelling and obsessing about things you cannot change. Fear of the new will create stagnant waters in our life. Kingfisher reversed is a reminder to not become too comfortable with the old way of doing things. It is a reminder to try the new, to stretch yourself. Reversed Kingfisher reminds you to make sure you are thoroughly prepared before you initiate changes. If you are not, disappointment will result. Don't give up everything old for something new right now. Test the new waters first, otherwise you will find yourself soon over your head. So, I feel like the first part of that really resonated for the message today. I'm not feeling so much the secondary warning. The Reverse Kingfisher reminds you to make sure you're thoroughly prepared before you initiate changes, because I almost feel like that's not relevant to a lot of people here. Like, I don't feel like, I mean, maybe, listen, if it resonates with you, definitely take that message. I just felt there was more of an emphasis on the sort of fixation on the past, maybe obsessing over the past, and it almost feels like it comes from a sense of like, even if things that have happened in the past are undesirable to you now, there's a fixation with those when things feel difficult in the new, because that feels safe, even if it's not what you actually want. Like, it doesn't feel good, but it feels safe, if that makes sense. So I do feel like there's almost like a difficulty with feeling safe in the new. That is part of the root of your funk that you're in, right? Where things have changed, things are changing, and maybe you even want things to change, but there is a part of you, and keyword part of you, that just doesn't quite feel so ready for it. But again, that part of you is healing. You are healing that part. And that's really important here. I do feel like this is really linked to your ability to trust yourself. So I feel like the part of you that is healing has a lot to do with your self-trust, with your ability to trust yourself in new situations, with your ability to also trust yourself to handle emotions, to handle I'm definitely like feeling like there could be some anxiety in this group. Like, just feeling like if things are happening too fast or if something goes in a way that you don't expect, that you might have a really intense reaction to it, because part of you just might have that sort of reactivity triggered easily. And again, that part of you is a part that's healing, that is, it's okay to acknowledge and be with that part of you and let that part express itself for now, right? But knowing that if you're aware of it, it also allows you to begin to bring that part of you comfort, reassurance, and eventually help that part of you let go and move on. And I feel like it might be very important for you to imagine this as like a part of you that is not separate from you, but also not your whole entire identity, because I do feel like some of you get stuck in feeling like this is who you are, and in that identification with the past, it again, like you just don't move forward into the new. But there's such a strong desire here, I feel like, for the new, that thinking of like any anxiety, overthinking, obsessive thoughts that you experience as just a part of you rather than the whole entirety of your existence is going to help you soothe it. It's going to help it heal. It's going to help you bring that part of you that needs to be healed into the future with you, into the new circumstance with you, because it feels like you already have been and are moving into some new phase of life at this time. And it's already begun. Like, the energy is gaining momentum. I feel like it almost feels like a lot of you have like manifested, consciously or not, a new start that is actually quite positive. It feels like you are moving into a quite positive phase, and there is a part of you that has been holding back out of this fear, right? And that's okay. Like, there's a really strong feeling here of like not wanting to demonize any part of you, any anxiety that you have, any fear, any like coping mechanisms even that might be coming up for you as a result of discomfort with this newness, right? Not to demonize any of that, not to shame any of that, but just to acknowledge it for what it is, and to acknowledge that it's part of you that is ready to be healed, and that this is sometimes part of the process, right? Things will come back up for us that maybe we thought we healed once, or that maybe we get impatient, right? We're like, oh, like I wish I could be past this, right? But it feels like you can take the perhaps resurgence of some of these tendencies or coping mechanisms in your life as an initial sign of like, oh, this is emerging, so that it can be healed. And it's part of the stretching process, the growing process. So there's an encouragement to not demonize it, not panic in the face of it. If there is assistance or help that you can get from like professionals, if that's the kind of situation that you feel like you're in, and there's like people in your life who can support you through it, or professionals who you can work with to help support you through it, definitely do so if you haven't already. But most importantly, it's to not take this as a bad sign, to not take this as a negative aspect of yourself, but rather as it's growing pains, honestly, is what it feels like. And you have Archangel Jophiel here to help you with self-trust. So if you connect with the idea of connecting with angels, archangels, then, or if you're just interested in exploring that more, then perhaps reciting this affirmation, I connect with my inner wisdom, and calling on Archangel Jophiel in whatever way feels appropriate for you, and Archangel Raphael for healing. Working with those archangels might help you feel more supported and just more comforted in the process, more confident in yourself, knowing that any healing and wisdom that comes from you, that's coming from you. It's not that you need outside help, but it is sometimes our permission slip, or our or sometimes we just need assistance. We need help, and it's okay to ask for that, and that might strengthen the process for you, help you feel stronger and just more supported and connected as you intentionally leave space for any discomfort you feel through the changes you're going through, and then also allow healing to take place. And so, yeah, and there's definitely something here about accepting things that have not worked out. Like, I feel like what we're healing is a part of you that has trouble letting go of things that did not work out, things that did not come to fruition in the time frame or in the way that you wanted them to. There could be something here. I was getting a specific message for some of you to do with children. And I feel like, in general, this message is centered on like healing your inner child. Like, I feel like the part of you, for a lot of you here, that you are healing is your inner child that has perhaps some attachment issues, shall we say. If you resonate with like attachment styles, maybe that's something that's helpful for you to conceptualize what you're going through at this time. But even if that's not the case, like something that a pattern that maybe was in you as a child that's now coming up to be healed naturally, and this is telling you, like, you have the ability now to care for that child part of you in a way that you didn't when you were younger. Now you have that ability, so you can be there. You can treat that part of you like a child in a way where you give that part of you reassurance and guidance and comfort and love and care, right? And so that's what I feel like is happening for most of you here, is that this is a reconnection with a part of your inner child that had a difficult relationship with perhaps attachment to certain things or people in the past, and also maybe a difficult relationship with disappointment. Honestly, I feel like there's a difficult relationship with disappointment that's being healed here. For some of you, there could be a literal message here about children, in terms of, I was getting, maybe some of you have been wanting to have children. Maybe for some of you this is very specific, but maybe for some of you that has been the desire that hasn't quite been coming to fruition for you. Maybe it's been difficult for you to bring about. And this is letting you know that the energy in that area is gaining momentum. This is something that, if you want it, it is meant for you in some way, shape, or form. And in order to, in whatever way, like to bring in this new chapter that you're wanting to welcome in whatever way makes the most sense for you, is most aligned for you, there is some maybe healing work around past things that didn't work out, past things that did not come to fruition, that are difficult sometimes to process through, that have not been fully processed through. And so calling on Rosetta to help with that, help bring that energy, to help you understand that you are worthy of the desires that you seek, that you have the skills and the abilities to be a good parent, if that's what you're looking to do, or to whatever it is that you're seeking to bring into your life, to nurture that, grow that, and care for that. Perhaps calling on Rosetta can also help you bolster the part of you that feels worthy and also able to actually care for and nurture the future that you want, the version of you, version of your life that you want to bring in. Because, yeah, it feels like there's maybe an just a bit of like obsessive overthinking that comes in when you start to feel a bit down, that comes in when part of you feels triggered, when part of you feels let down or disappointed, or is reminded of past difficulties, or when you're trying to move into and accept new energy, and when you're in new energy now, and that part of you is like sort of pitching a fit a bit, like sort of kicking and screaming and saying, no, like, this isn't safe because XYZ, this isn't going to work out because XYZ, right? There's like a fixation that, like, either this part of you uses in a way where, like, maybe you get obsessive or fixated on, like, someone from your past to avoid, like, interactions with people in your present, or people who could become part of your future. And that's, again, out of fear of disappointment, comfort with the past, even if it's painful, right? Or there's this fixation with, like, all the things that could go wrong, and trying to prevent things that could go wrong based on assumptions from things that have happened in the past that let you down, that disappointed you. So the part of you that doesn't want to experience that disappointment anymore, you know, it kicks up a bit of a tantrum when you try to move towards something new with an open heart and without the old expectations that you once held, right? Because there's still that protective mechanism. And you now being an adult or just more grown and more mature and more experienced, you have the ability in the present to be there for that past version of you and to say, hey, like, I know that we didn't know how to handle this back then, but we know how to handle it now. And just keep assuring that part of you, speaking to that part of you, letting that part of you know, we're going to handle things differently now. We can do this. And I do feel like ultimately there is a rewiring of your belief system around disappointment and what it means for you and how you handle it, and just this renewed sense of resilience and confidence in how you move through life without this fear of disappointment. Like, I feel like that's really what we're releasing. And when I say disappointment, that could feel like for some of you, that could feel like a bit of a, I don't know, understatement for what it is that you've dealt with. Maybe disappointment is too small a word for some of the things that you feel around what you've gone through. And maybe for some of you, it's the more apt word is grief, loss. Maybe there's some things that, because disappointment does involve some measure of grief or loss, but it does often, I think it implies things that are a little bit, maybe lower stakes than things that we associate with the words grief and loss, right? So I want to just be clear, this can be related to a whole range of experiences, right? From just having difficulty dealing with even what seems like the smallest levels of disappointment to things that are huge, big life events, big losses, and it just really depends on your own personal experience. But the point is, I do feel like there is a renewal that you are approaching through this healing process that sees you having and at least in your view, I feel like a better relationship with the experience of disappointment and grief and loss, wherein it's not that you need to experience that in any kind of different way or that there's anything that you've been doing wrong. It's more like you're starting to come to a new understanding about your past experiences in a way that's allowing you to move into new ones and feel more comfortable there, feel more ready to be open again to new things. And to also feel like you have more tools at your disposal to help you through anything that comes next, any potential disappointment or loss or grief. You trust yourself. You trust yourself again, and you trust yourself to handle it. You're like, no, I can handle it, but I'm going to live my life, and I'm going to accept change, and I'm going to accept new phases of my life and move forward with more confidence and a lighter heart. That's what it feels like. You're moving into a phase of lightheartedness, but right now you're feeling some of the heaviness coming up because it's wanting to be resolved and acknowledged and thereby released and allowed to conclude, right? To acknowledge, hey, you know what, like, this hurt me in the past, and I'm going to feel that, and I'm going to let it be, and let it resolve, and let it go. It feels like it's really a releasing process that you're going through that, again, might feel difficult at times, but it is moving you into a new phase, moving you, like, I keep saying that. I mean, you are in a new phase. It's moving you into a deeper acceptance of this new phase, and also a more, I'm feeling like there's like a fun, lighthearted, like, paradigm that you're going to be able to see this new phase through. Like, you're going to start to get excited, right? And like curious about what's coming, and like sort of almost like intrigued by the unknown of it all rather than afraid of it. And I feel like that's what you're moving through right now. So yeah, so if you align with and connect with angels, archangels, these archangels are here to help you. Please call on them. But also know that if there's parts of you that are having trouble right now with shifts and with changes, that's okay. And those parts of you are okay. And they're just calling out for your attention. So if you can give those parts of you some love, some understanding, some grace, I do feel like you will begin to just let go a little bit more easily and just feel some tension that I feel like you've been carrying ease up for you. Let that sunshine in, let that dark cloud release. So, any more messages for group 2? I am getting like a candle in my mind's eye. Not like these over here that I have, but like a candlestick, like one of those like thick candlesticks, and it's like lit and like the flame is glowing brighter and brighter. And so it feels like right now you might feel like you've only got one candle. Like, you know, you're kind of feeling your way around in the dark and you've got like one candle to help you see. And the idea is that, like, I don't know, there's something about focusing on that flame. Maybe, honestly, that could be, like, only do what's safe in your environment, right? Like, be safe with open flames, right? But if you are aware of, like, if you can do so safely, like a candle meditation where you, like, light a candle and you stare into the flame and you kind of focus on it, literally doing that might be something that you're called to do, or that is actually going to be really helpful for you. I'm thinking of, like, almost like even scrying, you know, as like a meditative practice where then it helps you like center and get clear and connect with your inner wisdom as well. Maybe you kind of want to do that as a ritual where you also call on Yophiel to help you connect with your inner wisdom through like a candle meditation. Or more metaphorically as well, this sort of like this feeling that what was it? I lost it. There was like some kind of like what is it? I don't know. There's something about like a candle flame, like some kind of like inner. I feel like the candle flame itself is actually a really positive. Like there's this encouraging. I'm like looking at this candle and it feels so encouraging. I'm just feeling like, and like, yeah, you can blow out a candle, but it's almost like I'm feeling like this candle cannot be blown out. Like there's this feeling of like some kind of in your inner world or in your inner life or something like that. Like this candle has been lit and it can't be unlit. And it's some kind of inspiration, or it's some kind of, maybe it's representative of your inner wisdom, and that's why I was getting also like the idea of doing a candle meditation to get in touch with that more. But it's like there's something about this candle that's just going to keep glowing brighter and brighter. It cannot be blown out. Or you know what, maybe it's been blown out, then that's where you've been in your like winter phase, right? And it's moving, it's been lit now, and that is, and it's meant to be like this, you're gonna a phase where the candle is meant to stay lit, right? There's a time and a place to blow the candle out, right? But right now, your candle's meant to stay lit. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure what that means. I feel like for some of you out there, maybe that's a very specific sign or signal, or it's going to trigger something for you. But yeah, that was just a very specific like imagery I was getting, and like that feeling of like, it feels so encouraging, and it feels so like this flame is not, this is a resilient flame. This is a sturdy, steady flame. This is something that is going to stay lit for a while, right? And maybe it's not meant to be lit always or forever, but right now it is. And right now it's staying lit. Stay lit. Stay lit. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so take that as it resonates. I have a feeling there's some people out there that are going to get, like, very specific impressions from that. So be interested to hear if you have, like, a specific meaning that came through with that. Please feel free to leave it in the comments. I'd be so interested to hear. And with that being said, that's all we've got for you today, Group 2. So thank you so much for watching. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to do so. And if you're interested in personal readings, I do offer those on sunflowerphilosophy.com. Link is in the description. And my mom and I are also certified consulting hypnotists, so if you want to learn more about hypnosis and how it can be a tool to help you break free from old patterns and habits and old ways of thinking and step into new identities and new realities and things like that, you can also check that out on our website, and also link our new podcast that we'll be posting on Sunflower Philosophy YouTube channel. So you can check that out as well. And that is that. So thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye! Hi, Group 3. If you selected this Washington Blue, then you're in the right place. And this is your reading all about how to beat your winter blues. Give you some messages of hope, messages of guidance, anything that wants to come through that you need to hear right now in your highest good. And I'm just going to shuffle up these cards and just get right into it. So I'm starting with these angel cards here. We're just going to get a card from each deck and see what comes through. That fell on the floor. So our first card for you is generosity. Generosity is a quality of spirit. It is rejoicing in the good fortune of others even when you have nothing to celebrate yourself. It is an attitude of mind, which means that you are happy to give without expecting in return. Drawing this card invites you to be generous-hearted and indicates that you are ready to aspire to this noble quality. Angel wisdom suggests that you give of yourself freely, openly, and lovingly. The rewards for generosity are great, for all that you give from an open heart is returned to you multiplied. Affirmation, I am generous-hearted. All right. So next we're going to get a card from this angel deck. Let's see who wants to come out for you. Group 3. Whoa, we got 2. We got Akasha. You are a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life mission. Okay, and we have Archangel Gabriel. You have an important life purpose involving communication and the arts. Please don't allow insecurities to hold you back. I will help you. I'm sensing a pattern. Group 3, you've got some things to share, don't you? All right, and now let's get a Moonology card for you. Moonology card. What's going on with your Moonology? We've got, full moon in Pisces, balance, spirituality, and practicality. So y'all might be a very spiritual group here. Like, you might resonate, a lot of you, maybe not all of you, we'll get into it, but a lot of you might resonate with, like, being very into spiritual beliefs, having a very specific or important spiritual belief system, or even, like, having a profession that is spiritual in nature. What bird cards have or aspiring to that if you don't already? What bird cards have a message for you? Any bird cards? We have Heron. Assert when opportunity appears. It's kind of similar. There's some similar messages to Group 1 a bit. And then last but not least, we have a Rumi card for you. Let's see what Rumi has to say. See what Rumi has to say. We have, if all the poisons in the world are poured in us, they are dissolved in the sweetness of our soul. Okay. So, you definitely have a lot to give, Group 3. And right now, perhaps some of what is causing you a bit of, like, if you're feeling a bit down, unmotivated, or stagnant, I feel like that's because you are holding back in some way. You are holding back something that really wants to emerge from you, something that really wants to be expressed. And in your case, generosity, it could mean like giving to others in terms of like a gift, or just being generous in your spirit, like the card said about like being happy for others even when you feel like you don't have anything to be happy for in your own life. But I also feel like it means generosity in the sense of being generous enough to share your teachings, wisdoms, and creations with the rest of the world. This is a group that feels like you might, part of what is keeping you down right now is like it's almost like the it's almost like the things that you have to express that you want to share with the world are kind of getting backed up by potentially insecurities, fears, an uncomfortable, like feeling like imposter syndrome, like, oh well, like, is what I have to share really valuable or whatever. There's like this like kind of wishy-washiness about like I want to share, but like it's not worth it. Like people don't really want to see what I have to offer, or people don't really want to hear what I have to say, or like what I offer isn't really that valuable or important. And this is asking you to flip those fears around by starting to think about you like offering services or like sharing art or speaking like more freely and openly about what it is that you do or wisdom that you have to share. See that as an act of generosity. See that as you giving of yourself freely, of in a way that feels really good, like feels really refreshing, and that you're doing it from a space of generosity in your heart, knowing that it will have value, that there are people who need to hear what you have to say or need to see what you have to offer, who need the services that you offer, perhaps, the wisdom that you have in your heart. Start to see that as like an act of giving, an act of giving that is like, even if you're offering services where you ask for money in return for like your time and energy, like the fact that you're putting your services out there and offering them at all, that you are doing what it is that you do in from a space of intending to heal and help, that is generosity, that willingness to put yourself out there in that way and to see yourself with a kinder eye. I also was getting a message that some of us here in this group might be at times hiding behind spirituality a little bit when it comes time to actually take like an active step in your like material reality towards fulfilling your goals, sharing yourself, asserting your dreams, whatever it is. And there's a call to recognize that, like, yes, things like visualization, manifestation techniques, and things like that are all like part of the process, but there's in some cases times when like it's not like what you're using, it's like how you use it, right? And so there are times when you might say, well, there's this, I don't know, like maybe there's this maybe you make crafts and you're like, oh, there's a craft fair happening like next month and I could sign up for that and have a table there, but let me I could do that, or maybe I'll just let me like add it to my vision board, but then I'm not gonna like look into it anymore. Like I'm not going to like actually like send an email and be like, hey, like can you give me more information about how to join this, right? Like I'll set the intention, but never get around to doing the action. And I feel like it's like you don't have to go out of your way to force things to happen through action, but you do have to take steps when they're presented to you. And like, well, Heron right here, assert when opportunity appears. Like there are opportunities that are appearing that are asking you to take a little bit of a leap of faith, maybe just like take the first step, right, in that direction, take that first action and see where it leads. And you might be getting stuck at that part, right? And there's just a little bit of like there's a hesitation, there's a, oh, but like I don't know if I'm ready, and I'm just gonna I'll put it out there to the universe, but when it comes to me, I'm not ready to like make a step, make a move. And I feel like there's a reliance on this idea that it'll just happen, but I don't have to do anything. But it's not, but it's like I don't think that you actually, like, I think that you have some walls up, and I think you know that you are maybe hesitating and not taking all the opportunities that you could. And it's just a matter of like taking that deep breath and taking that first step and just making that move, just saying, this time I'm going to send that email. This time I'm going to ask that person who, is hosting that event if there are any openings and I can attend to. No matter if it's going to actually, like, if maybe that person says no, maybe they don't have space, but maybe the next time they have an event, they reach out to you because they remember that you were interested, right? Like putting yourself out there more in ways that you just haven't. Taking opportunities, and I feel like you can start in small ways, right? In ways that feel manageable to you, but allow it to build your confidence. Allow it to help the part of you that is nervous to start, you can start in the shallow end. You can start taking one step at a time. You can, step into the water and let yourself get used to it, and then step onto the next step in the pool and let yourself get used to that, and then step deeper in and wade all the way in until eventually you're swimming around happily and the water's great. But do it, do something, start to make moves that are just a little bit different. Just put yourself out there. But this is really put yourself out there energy. And it feels like, again, like there's this almost like backup of energy of like things where you're like, like I want to share this. I want to say it. I want to put it out there. I want to be more like active. And it's just maybe some of it's just getting stuck because you're just not quite taking those steps. You're not quite using that energy like in a physical, productive way where you're like actively moving it in your reality, and it just needs to move. And I feel like that is going to release some of this like pressure that I feel like is built up. And you can do it a little bit at a time. You can just take that like take a little step, and then take a bigger step, and then take a bigger step. And it's not going to feel as daunting as it feels right now. I feel like especially the more you hesitate, the more it feels like pressure builds. You've got to start like releasing some of that through showing yourself that it's safe to express yourself differently than you have and more openly than you have, in even the smallest of ways, easing yourself into that. Or for some of you, there could be a call to take a big leap, big step, something that feels much more substantial, but maybe you feel like, I just need to like rip the Band-Aid off, right? So if that resonates as well, that might be what you want to do. But I feel like you have something really valuable and healing to show the world, to bring the world, to give the world. And that's the most important thing, is like your gifts, your healing intentions they're wanting to be expressed. They're wanting to be given out. And that's where I feel like there's some pent up frustration. Maybe even for some of you, you might resonate with the experience of, like really wanting, like maybe taking it out sometimes on people in your life who, this is only for people who it resonates with, but getting this feeling of like when you're like, oh, like I have this like new thing that I learned, like this new modality, like I want to share with people in my life, but maybe those people aren't looking for, healing right now. Maybe those people aren't looking for that modality, but you're like really frustrated with them because like you want to tell them about it and use it in their life, and you're like, I can see all these ways where it can help these people, but they're not the people asking for your help. But there might be people who you don't know, you've never met yet, who you haven't put yourself out to yet, who are asking for your help, who really want it. And so it's like you might get frustrated with people in your life who just aren't right now your people. They're not your people who are meant to receive your services, right? And so that's one way in which this energy might express itself as like frustration with people, because like you want to help, you want to nurture, you want to care for, you want to heal, you want to use the gifts that you have, and not everyone in your life right now is there to receive it, because you're meant to be bringing those gifts to other people, to a wider audience, to people who you have not encountered yet, have not met yet. And so as you continue to do that and put yourself out there more, you will find that like that dissipates a bit, that and maybe even you'll find there more people in your life will open up to what you do, but you also might find that like you're most suited to working with a different group of people or people that you've never encountered before. And so, yeah, so it's like use your intention setting, your vision boards, your visualization, whatever manifestation techniques you might gravitate towards, your energy healing, your energy work, and pair those with some kind of substantial physical action that you take in your life. And it could even be like just adding more, like literally, like instead of just visualizing, like you light a candle in, I don't know, like doing some kind of, even just like adding physical elements to like your manifesting rituals and routines. Like, yes, of course, taking the actual step to like talk to someone you haven't talked to before, or like, I don't know, like put, you know, yourself out there on the internet more, or whatever you need to like share yourself and get yourself out there, like doing that. But also, like, if you're manifesting, like maybe adding physical elements to rituals, where if you were like sitting in meditation and visualizing, maybe you add like journaling and physically writing it out too. Or maybe you add like writing things that you want to release on paper and then like tearing them up, or like writing things that you want to like bring into your life on actual paper, and like, I don't know, doing a ceremony or something like that, right? Like physical things, maybe like witchcraft and things like that, if that's something that you resonate with, or are interested in. There's also that aspect that's coming through as well to help aid your confidence in what it is that you're looking to bring in, and anchor in this, like anchor in any new intentions that you have with like a physical act, a habit, a routine, something that, even if it's not like a direct action in the moment, might actually help you feel more confident to take that direct action when it's presented to you, if that makes sense. And there's also a message here about limiting beliefs surrounding, like, feeling like the world is working against you, being really focused on rhetoric that you feel is discouraging to people and to yourself, and sometimes maybe getting caught up in, like, I guess we could call it victim mentality, or just feeling disempowered, right? Like, I'm looking at this Rumi quote, like, if all the poisons in the world are poured in us, they are dissolved in the sweetness of our soul. This is a reminder that no matter what, like, you see, no matter what in the world around you could be seeking to control you, keep you down, no matter what, like, what is your external environment that you feel is providing you with messaging that's maybe not helpful or detrimental, if you're focused on that and you're feeling like defeated because you feel like, oh, like, how could I possibly overcome my insecurities and things like that, when like the world around me is constantly telling me that, you know, it's not safe to put myself out there, or that I'm not worthy or not worthwhile. It's like, this is a reminder that at a certain point, and I feel like I feel like on some level, you're a deeply spiritual person. You are resilient, and you've been learning to really build yourself up. Like, there are parts of you that might seek to still kind of use that as an excuse, but you know better. I'm getting a little bit of like tough love here, but it's like you know better. You know better. Even if you have all the worst possible people throwing shit at you, telling you discouraging things, it's like your soul is stronger than that. Your energy is stronger than that. And you actually know that. You're aware of that. You're someone who has built yourself up to a point where you know that. There's nothing that could keep you down that's a match for you. So we need to start turning our attention to our strength rather than the things that we feel are working against us or trying to cause us weakness. No, you're stronger than that. You're ready to stop letting that get in your way. You're ready to stop saying, oh, but, you know, like, you know, you just see so many things that tell you that you can't do it. It's like, no. Right now, we're not getting bogged down in that. You know better. And your soul is stronger than that, and your soul is like, let's go. Let's go. Let's like, honestly, it's like a stop making excuses kind of message. That's what I'm getting. Like, stop making excuses. The part of you that is afraid to move forward and share yourself and be more open, you know every trick in the book that you know that it's parroting these messages that you don't believe in. You know this. You just might need that reminder right now. You just might need that reminder, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's time to get up, get out, and put yourself out there, and notice when you feel like you're succumbing to messaging that you don't believe in, and just remind yourself that's, you know, that it's bullshit. So treat it like it's bullshit and just dismiss it, ignore it, let it go. Because you know how to bolster your energy. You know how to instill the positive messaging that you want in your mind, in your energy. And yeah, you just need to be reminded of your power, honestly. You just need a reminder of your power and a reminder that your energy, your gifts, the things that you bring to this world are important and need to be shared, and you are encouraged to do so. It is time for you to do so. Yeah. You are meant to put yourself out there. You're meant to communicate, and just keep doing it. Keep doing it, and remember that anything that's telling you that you shouldn't put yourself out there, it's not safe to do that, it's not worth it, you're not worth it, that's always a lie. It's always lies. It's always lies, and you know better, and you know how to break out of that mentality. So yeah, use your power. You are so powerful. Like, I really do feel that. I just feel like you just need that reminder right now. And part of being so powerful, I feel, is sometimes going through times when you forget that, only to be reminded and then come back even stronger, you know? Before we close out, I do want to just read from the bird book, because I've been doing that for everyone else's reading, for herons. So let's just do that. So we have, the great blue heron is part of a group of wading birds common to marshlands, usually waiting to feed in the shallows. Its presence is assigned to assert ourselves when opportunity appears. Now more than ever, you will be heard and followed. Yes. So that's why this is coming through, because, like, now is a really good time, like, energetically, for you to be heard. So you got to put yourself out there now. Marshlands and wetlands are some of the most productive ecosystems in North America. They are also areas of decomposition with a breaking down of old growth so that new growth can occur. They remind us of the creative power in change and transition. Heron's appearance now alerts us to change and reminds us to take advantage of those changes while we can. Changes are going to happen anyway. It's part of life. Clean out the old and make room for the new. Embrace the change, and your creativity and productivity will increase by leaps and bounds. This is Heron's promise. Heron stalks in a careful stride as it hunts, but spears quickly and directly with its long beak when it spots its prey. Now is the time to assert yourself and explore new areas and activities that are coming with the changes. Yeah. So it feels like you're already, it's kind of similar to some things that came through in group 2, actually, but you're already in the midst of these changes. So I do feel like any discouragement that you've been feeling, and even when I said, like, the message about maybe sometimes getting in your own way with, like, inaction or just hesitation or just, like, not completing, like being like, oh yeah, you know, I want to bring this into my life, but then not committing to the action, to taking that opportunity when it's in front of you. Like, I feel like that is something that you're overcoming now. But I also feel like you need to give yourself credit for where you have been actually asserting yourself and taking opportunities that you wouldn't have in the past, recognizing that progress, so then you can more consciously, like, have confidence in the fact that you can do it. Like, I feel like some of it is also you maybe not recognizing that you have changed and grown and become stronger and more assertive and, like, more willing to share yourself, and realizing that progress is already there, it's already happening, and it's time to keep it going, right? It's time to keep it going, and you might have just fallen into a bit of, like, a mental rut where you've just been feeling, like, a bit down and discouraged on yourself. And this is a reminder of, like, no, you know better than that. You know better than that. You're more powerful than that. And you've already proven it to yourself before. So you can, so this is a reminder that you've already done it. So you can keep doing it. And it's going to get easier and easier. I almost said I promise. And I didn't, like, plan to say that, but I almost feel like when I said I promise, I feel like for some people here, that was a specific angel or guide coming through to say I promise. Like, that was so I feel like there are people here who have maybe a specific guide that they work with, and if that resonates with you, then that was really a message from them, like, directly. That was like it almost feels like someone, like it's an entity, a being that you would have almost like had these conversations with before, who's like maybe connected with you over this kind of thing before. Yeah. Anything else for group 3? No, I don't believe so. So, group 3, please leave a comment and let me know how this resonated and anything that came through specifically for you when you were listening to this reading. And also like and subscribe if you feel called to do so. Also, if you're interested in personal readings, you can check out the offers on our website, sunflowerphilosophy.com, link in the description. My mom and I work together, and we're both certified consulting hypnotists, so if you're interested in hypnosis as a healing modality, as a tool, for creating change in your life, then you can also look into more of that. And also I'll link our podcast that we have at Sunflower Philosophy on YouTube and probably Spotify and other platforms, but whatever needs to be linked, I'll link it. Yeah, thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye. Hi, Group 4. If you selected this shade of blue, Bell Bottom Blues, then you are in the right place, and this is your reading all about how to beat your winter blues. And we're just going to get right into it. I'm going to shuffle up cards from each of these decks, and we're going to put them together to get your message. So we're just going to start right away with these angel cards here, and we'll just go down the line. So Group 4, what message do these cards have for you? Oh, I need to scoot my chair in. What message do these angel cards have for you? We got 2. We have forgiveness. Angel wisdom reminds you that challenging people and situations are sent to you as your most important teachers. Without them, your soul would not grow. Your guidance is to let go of the hurt, resentment, and anger of the past. When you forgive others and yourself, your karma is rubbed out of your soul's records. You will enjoy love in your heart and lightness of spirit. Ask the angels to help you dissolve your hurt, anger, and guilt. They will take your burdens from you. When you love unconditionally, there is nothing to forgive. Love is forgiving, so open your heart to give love. Affirmation: I forgive myself and others. I am free. And the second card we have is beauty. The outer world is a reflection of your inner, so focus on the beauty within yourself, your good qualities, your kindness, your gifts, and talents. Remember that whatever you give attention to increases and grows. Everyone has some beauty in their soul, so seek it in others. Remind them of their qualities, and you will illuminate them. Surround yourself with things and people with a beautiful vibration, for we are all influenced by what is around us. As you tune more and more into the incredible wonder of yourself, others, and the planet, your resonance becomes that of beauty. Others will perceive the radiance of your soul and be touched by it. Affirmation: I recognize my beauty and that of others. Okay. And now let's get a card from this angel deck. Let's see which angel's coming through for you today. Who's coming through for Group 4 for this reading? Who's coming through for Group 4? We have Adriana. I am leading you toward the answer to your prayers. Please listen to and follow the steps I'm communicating through your intuition, thoughts, and dreams. All right. Then we have a Moonology card. Let's see what we've got for you from Moonology. Whoa, 3 cards popped out so fast. Okay, I'm going to arrange this a bit differently than I did the other groups. I'm going to put the moon cards down here. So we have first, a win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra. Love to hear that. We have communication is key, new moon in Gemini. Okay. And we have a new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. Wow, lots of Libra energy and Gemini coming through. So like, very interesting. We'll get into it. Hold on. Let me get a bird card. This is very interesting. Bird card. Ooh. We have Pelican. Unselfishness will renew you. Put that over here. Wow. And let's get Rumi. Let's get a Rumi quote. What does Rumi have for you? Group 4. How glorious is the laughter in the garden of your delight. In the place of a feast, the soul, as your guest, savors the delight in you. Okay. Interesting. Group 4. So there's a lot here about other people. Like, other people are really important to your energy right now. And so the perhaps source or at least fixation of your current blues feels like if this group is for you, it's going to have a lot to do with people in your life right now. Obviously, first card we got was forgiveness, so it feels like there is some kind of... Perhaps it could have been the end of a relationship because we have a new romantic cycle begins. Maybe there was an end of a relationship where there's some old bitterness, like, coming up in your current relationship or regarding a past relationship or something like that. That could be very specifically the message for you. It doesn't have to be romantic in particular, but there's definitely this feeling of like stagnant, like regret, anger, frustration, like pent up emotions, right? Needing to be released. And that idea of forgiveness being more for you than for another person, right? Now, obviously, like, how you relate to the concept of forgiveness depends on how you choose to approach it. And I know, like, not everyone is a fan of, like, thinking of it in those terms, per se, but it does feel like the main message from that card is about release. Like, there's a letting go that is ready to happen. There's a letting go that is ready to happen. And it does feel like it is shifting you into a new era of relating to people around you. And it could be, again, in a specific relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be in a specific relationship or in general. And either way, I actually feel like if there's a specific relationship that's sort of like become the symbol of like whatever issues you have with people at large or people in general in your life, like healing that, or through that you will heal your relationships with people in general, with other people, with just your ability to communicate more, to see relationships as something that you can mutually benefit from, like you and a partner, or you and another person in general can mutually benefit from your relationships with each other, as opposed to like I'm getting someone who's moving from this feeling of defeat in relationships or this feeling of needing to like see relationships of any kind as a competition, to someone moving into a much more equal, loving, like we both give and receive equally kind of situation. And this is not only through finding someone who is like more aligned with that than maybe past people were or other people in your life were, but also through allowing yourself and finding it in yourself to open up and be more communicative, more open-hearted, and to choose not to perpetuate any of those old negative cycles yourself as well, to not participate in the sort of like cycle of resentment or anger or frustration, right? To like kind of step outside of that. We are learning to see, this feels like you might have gone through or be in a cycle right now of just like seeing the worst in people. Maybe not just people in your life directly, maybe in general, just feeling like you're seeing the worst of the world, the worst of this and that. Maybe you've spent a lot of time, like I'm getting the specific example that doesn't have to be for you, but the specific example of someone who's been taking in a lot of, say, like relationship content that's like about how hard dating is, how much like men suck, or maybe how much women suck, like I don't know, like what you've been engaging with, but it's like the kind of stuff that just sort of trains your brain to see the worst in people, even if like, yes, some of it might speak to things that you've genuinely experienced or feelings that you've genuinely had. Like I feel like it's time to like it weighs on you, it weighs on your soul, weighs on your heart, and it creates this like it feels like it's been exacerbating the like resentment, the anger, the frustration, and it's something that in order to move into this new phase, a new romantic cycle, or just a new like relational cycle in general, it's time to like leave behind anything, or just not associate as much with things that encourage you to see the worst in people, or like I'm also thinking of like, you know, like when people do, and listen, it can be fun like totally, I have definitely watched these kinds of videos where people go onto like the Reddit thread, like, am I the asshole, where people are like, am I the asshole for like doing this or whatever, and like it ranges from something that's like kind of like, no, obviously that's it's fine, that it sounds like you were in the right, to someone who's just like heinously wrong about something and has no idea, no self-awareness. It's like it, and these stories, some of them are definitely made up, some of them, you know, you're only getting one side of the story often, so you're not really like, you don't know how people are truly representing the facts. There's no way to actually judge these situations in reality. You can only go based off of like what you're reading, what's right in front of you, and often it just does not inspire the most hope in humanity, I find, for me. And so it feels like someone who's going from like really being engaged with like, oh, like, look how stupid people are so stupid and mean and ridiculous, you know, like engaging with that kind of like content and like that kind of perspective on life. Not that you can't just have fun with that every so often, but I mean, like, I feel like if there's like an overload of just like cynicism about humanity, about people, you're gonna feel that, and it's gonna translate into your relationships and how you see people, and like how your overall view of humanity. And I feel like that is shifting. That's something that I feel like you want to shift. That's something that I feel like has been getting you down, and this is something that you are definitely moving out of. And like, maybe you haven't been engaging with like that kind of like content specifically, right? But it's like, that's the vibe, right, of just being in like, a man, like, people are so stupid, or like, ugh, this person is so awful, like, you know, just antisocial, people are awful and mean and terrible kind of like mentality. Like, we're moving out of that. We're moving into something a little bit more optimistic and open-hearted, and like, we're ready to relate again to other people, is what I'm seeing here. Like, with this Libra and Gemini energy, like, I'm just getting like wanting to engage again with the world, with another like lines of communication that had been closed for a while, reopening. If this is in a specific relationship, I feel like there's an intention towards resolution, like conflict resolution, as opposed to like winning. Like, we're not focused on winning arguments anymore. We're focused on adequately communicating with one another, like genuinely what we feel. And like, there's like an assumption of like, we're on the same side here, we're on the same team, and so we're going to treat each other accordingly, and we're going to talk through any disagreements or hurt feelings with the assumption already in place that we are on the same side. And so we're just going to, we're not coming at it from, it's a competition, one of us has to win, the other one has to lose, like that kind of thing. Like, we're not about being right here. We're communicating, we're being honest, we're being open, we're working towards a larger goal that is for both people involved, as opposed to like me and my views and my desires over yours, you know, that kind of thing. And there's a renewal of, again, like, seeing beauty in humanity, in people, and like, yes, that is possible no matter what. Like, that beauty can be real, just as real as the ugly, right? Like, you can be like, okay, like, yeah, you know, I see some ugly things. I see a lot of ugly things. I can acknowledge that. I don't like that. I can be vocal about how I feel about that. I can actively work to bring the opposite energy into my world, and also see the beauty in like everyday interactions between people, in thoughtfulness that you see exemplified around you. You can set the intention to look for that, actively be alerted to that, and realize that that's just as real as any negativity. Like, and it's no, like, yeah, like, beginning to, I was having this thought the other day, actually, the idea that like, just because ugliness and negativity can be real doesn't mean that like positivity and like happiness and beauty is like not real or fake. Like, one doesn't cancel out the other. They can coexist, and you can cultivate a relationship where you choose where you put your focus and what is most important to you and what you prioritize, right? And so, like, yeah, it's like I feel like you are, and maybe for some of you still feel a little bit stuck in like the difficult part right now, but it does feel like you're moving into this phase. Like what this winter blues is sort of preparing you for, is moving you into the phase of, is a renewed sense of like optimism about how you relate with another person or people in general. And it's something that you, like, with Adriana here, I'm leading you toward the answer to your prayers, like something that you've been wanting. Like, I feel like you are someone who, no matter what sort of like cynicism you might see or experience in your own relationships or have, or difficulties that you have experienced, like, you're someone who wants better. You want something new. You want something fresh. You want something positive. You want something equal. You want something communicative. You want something romantic that might not necessarily mean like a romantic relationship, but like just like something like fresh and open-hearted and loving. And this is what you've been hoping for and wanting. Even if you don't have that much hope for it right now, but you've been asking for it, it is coming. You're going to begin to experience that more and more. And it is okay to like just believe in what you want to see in the world just for the sake of it, just because you want that. It's like, instead of trying to be a realist, yeah, that's what the message is. Instead of trying to be a quote unquote realist, because like the part of you that's like, I need to be realistic. I want to be a realist about this. That part of you is the part of you that's afraid to get hurt. That part of you is the part of you that's afraid to get your feelings hurt, that's afraid to be disappointed, afraid to be let down. There's another group that we talked a bit about the relationship with disappointment, and I'm not saying that part of you isn't valid. It's like not about invalidating that part of you or being like, oh, like, or shaming that part of you. That's a protective mechanism. That's fine. But like understanding that like realism isn't what you think it is, right? That part of you that thinks that negativity is more realistic is a defense mechanism because it's afraid that if you open up and be like open to the beauty of the world, that something will come along and ruin it and negate that beauty by being ugly. And it's like, again, maybe we can coexist in a less black and white world where like those things can exist simultaneously and not cancel each other out. And I feel like that's the new frame of mind that you're cultivating moving into, that is just going to be a lot more fulfilling for you and lead to much more fulfilling relationships for you, much more fulfilling experiences in communicating with other people for you. And your soul, like, this is like a whatever you conceptualize your soul to be, like, is telling you, like, it's okay to just be happy for the sake of being happy, just like choosing it because that's what you want, choosing to see the good because that's what you want. It's okay to actually do that, and to welcome in laughter and delight. And you know, sometimes we need to be told that it's okay for us to feel angry or upset or whatever, and I feel like you know that. But I feel like for those of you who are at this group right now, what you need to hear more is that it's okay for you to be happy. It's okay for you to expect the best. It's okay for you to expect better. It's okay for you to imagine better, to create better, to hope for better, to not use things that don't align with what you want to see in the world to then like crush your dreams or hopes. Like, it say in the example where like maybe you're seeking a new relationship and you have like hopes for love and you really want to be open to romantic love and things like that. Like, this is an energy where just because you go on a date that doesn't work out and you're just like, this person kind of sucked, like, instead of it being like, like, you know, men suck, women suck, people suck, you know, I can't, like, there's no good people out there. Instead of making it mean that, just being like, that person wasn't for me. Okay, moving on, right? And it's not like just because one person wasn't for you, it's like your brain doesn't then, you don't let your brain then take that to mean there's not a good person out there for you. There's no good people out there, right? Like, allowing, not making one thing cancel out another thing that isn't really related. Not letting an outcome that doesn't work out cancel out the possibility for the outcome that does work out just by virtue of like, well, if this didn't work out once, then I guess it'll never work out. Like, no, you know, like really being conscious of where your mind is at, and that you can choose to attune it to what you want it to attune to, and to just kind of be like, that's not for me. All right, like, that exists. That doesn't mean that the opposite doesn't exist, right? In fact, if we're talking in terms of polarity, like if the opposite of something exists, then if something exists, then the opposite of it also has to exist. So, you know, if there's like, if you encounter someone who's just like a terrible partner, then there's someone out there who embodies all the opposite qualities of that and who would be amazing. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's what you're learning to bring into your mindset right now, especially, as I said, around people. Doesn't have to be romantic, but in general, like around how you relate to people, which is really cool. And because I did this in every other group, I do want to read from the book about Pelican here, Unselfishness Will Renew You, for any additional messages. So let's do that. Pelican, where are you? Hope you can't see me flipping through the book and just like in the completely wrong part of the alphabet for Pelican, because it's like in alphabetical order. Okay, unselfishness will renew you. An old legend tells of how the pelican wounded her own breast and fed her young on the blood. Because of this, the pelican is a sign of sacrifice and unselfishness. There are times to give and there are times to take. Pelican's appearance now is a sign that now is the time for unselfishness. Give what you can to those around you, whether you believe they deserve it or not. That feels key, right? It's like living more unconditionally means that, like, and this feels like also just like feeling much more strong and confident in yourself, so that other people just like you're less focused on like, you're less protective and defensive because you feel safer. So you're like, you know, if this person, you're just less focused on other people. Like, do they deserve this? Do they deserve that? It's like, well, I know, like, you're living by your principles first, and you're more focused on that. And if other people aren't showing up, then you're confident that they're just not going to be part of your life, or like you're protected from that. You're not, you know, you don't have to feed relationships that are negative for you, trying to force a situation to turn around, or trying to prove to yourself that you're worthy by getting someone who doesn't believe that you are or doesn't treat you like you are to do so, because like you're just not about that anymore. And that's, again, also like leading to having more positive relationships, and also letting you be more open-hearted yourself and generous with people, because you don't feel like you're being taken from, because it gives something to you to give. And if the situation's just not like mutual, if it's just not beneficial, like, I feel like the situation will fade out naturally. It just won't stick around. Like, you won't feed it. You won't like overfeed it, right? You know, you won't give from nothing. You'll give because you have so much to give, and you just won't note it. Like, I hope this makes sense, but it's like, if someone's just like not showing up, then you're just gonna let them not show up, and you're just gonna be like, okay, like, cool, I'm just gonna move on, I'm just gonna look over here, like, you know? Yeah. It feels like being very casual about, like, just being like, I know what I deserve, I know who I am, I'm confident in who I am, I am happy to be kind and generous in ways that align with my values, and it gives something to me to live by my values and to treat people with respect and kindness. And if they don't give that back to me, it's not about retribution, it's not about trying to even the score, it's not about, like, it's just, I'm not gonna take that personally, and I'm not gonna feed it, I'm not gonna get into it with someone, I'm gonna move on, I'm gonna live my life the way that I want to live. Like, that's what I'm feeling, like, very empowered. Give what you can to those around you, whether you believe they deserve it or not. If you are approached for help, give it with a smile. In fact, give a little extra. It will ultimately be to your benefit, even if it seems to cost you time, money, and energy. You will find that giving to others right now will be renewing to your spirit. It will help heal the past and will soothe your emotions. Pelican's appearance now heralds a time in which you will be more buoyant and able to rest on top of churning waters around you, in spite of the heaviness of the circumstances. Yeah, and that's where it feels like this could be not just for like a specific relationship in your life as well, but like your whole relationship with humanity, I feel like, is shifting again, because it does feel like there's something here about you choosing to just, like, instead of keeping score, instead of being really focused on who deserves what, like, you're just focused on living by your morals and your rules and your ideas. So like when you're out and about in the world, if if it feels good to you to be kind and respectful to someone, you're gonna do it without like thinking first, oh, like, is this someone who deserves it, right? Like, are they someone who's also kind? Like, you're more just like in the moment, like you're just gonna be you, and you're gonna bring that beauty into other people's lives. And yeah, maybe that'll shift something for people who aren't used to experiencing that, or who aren't really like, but somewhere or another, like you bringing that energy just because it feels good to you and that's who you are is doing some good, and it's going to help you as well as other people, and it doesn't have to be so costly for you just to be that person, if that makes sense. You're in the position to help others right now, and when we have that opportunity, we should do so, especially when they cannot help themselves. Pelican reminds you that no matter what the circumstances surrounding you, you will not be overcome by them. In fact, you will find yourself renewed. You're stepping into an era where you're finding yourself renewed by relationship with other people, and in situations where you are in interactions with other people rather than depleted. And I feel like you are coming now from an era like where you've maybe been in some cynicism and resentment, and you're like emerging from that now. You're emerging into being able to see the beauty in humanity again, or at least intentionally seeking it out and intentionally seeking to create it. Because I do feel like there's like, even if you've been down in a bit of a funk, I do feel like there's something within you that is very strongly able to cultivate like a love in you that you can then transfer out into the world around you. You bring that out of the world around you by cultivating in yourself, and you see it in others, and then you bring that out in others, right? And that's where I feel like you're at right now, and that's why your relationships are also going to improve. That's why things are healing around communication for you. You're finding that delight in relating again, and communicating again, and being with people again. And the part of you that might have been very defensive or on like seeking the reassurance from the environment that like this person's not going to screw you over, or like looking for, is this a bad person, is that a bad person, like you're just not as focused on that, and you're much more focused on like, what love can I give and bring to the situation, and bringing that and trusting that is having a positive impact no matter what, in some way, shape, or form, on like the universe, on the world, on just like the person in front of you, on you yourself. And it feels really good. It feels really empowering. And it does feel like, again, like you might not fully be feeling this right now, but it feels like what you're working towards and what you're being encouraged to cultivate within yourself. And honestly, I do get the sense that this is something that comes more naturally to you than the sort of like, I just heard self-imposed cynicism. So I almost feel like it's like a feeling, again, like there's this like, you've made this kind of rule for yourself of like, oh, I'm not allowed to be happy or to see the good in life because of X, Y, and Z. And I feel like you're releasing that mentality, and you're moving into this much more, you're just releasing that. So like you're letting yourself go. You're like setting yourself free of that like sort of prison, and you're realizing that it comes much more naturally to you to be in this state, this frame where you're much more open, where you're much more attuned to beauty and love, and that's what you're bringing to the world. And it just feels like it's gonna be, once you like really step into this, it's just gonna be a lot. It's gonna flow a lot. Like just being with people, communicating with people, it's just gonna flow. Like unless like I'm feeling like social anxiety is released, like second guessing yourself, questioning yourself. Like you're just being you, and it's just like words are flowing, communication is flowing, people in your life are just meeting you where you're at, and it's a good time. It feels really good. It feels like a real renewal, with how you just relate to the world and how you relate to yourself as well. Yeah, it's just, there's like there's such a relief. Like I'm feeling such a relief. There's so much relief here. So if you're not feeling that yet, it just feels like that's where you're headed. Like that relief, this like pressure being released, this like constriction, maybe maybe in like your heart chakra or something, like this constriction being released, like things being opened up. Yeah. Whew. Like, and we have the full moon in Libra, so like release, a win-win outcome, is forecast, like this release, this full moon, and then with new moon, new beginning, new energy, new communication. Like, yeah, it's just like, ugh. And maybe even there's some release where like there is like a conversation that you need to have with someone, honesty that needs to be spoken. Maybe there is a specific like conversation that you need to have where there's a disagreement that you are able to approach, like, again, like going back to like the idea of like working with someone as a team, like you're working together as opposed to working against each other, like being able to finally like come together on like something and be like, listen, no matter what our individual beliefs are in this situation, like we have to be a team, so let's find a way to like truly listen to one another and act like we're working together as opposed to against each other. Like that's, and there's just like, it feels like something clicks and then it's just like a new, like communication's flowing, a new cycle in your relationship, or a new relationship, or new relationships in general are flowing. Like there's something that's just like, yeah. And so this culmination might feel a bit intense, so that might be why you're feeling a bit down or just like pressed or stressed about things, or maybe you're having a lot of negativity come up in your mind, a lot of resentment and things like that, because it's pushing you, the energy's pushing you towards this like culmination, this like realization, this conversation, whatever it is, that then brings this new cycle in, which is really lovely. And there's just like so much fun and laughter, and I feel like just easiness and ease on the other side of that. Wow. Okay. Anything else for group 4? I almost said group 3. Nope, I think that is all we got for group 4. So yeah. I keep feeling like I want to say something else though. Why do I keep, but nothing's coming to me. Oh, well, I did just get, I got like this, I got a star in my mind's eye, like a white star. It almost looks like, not like a real star in the sky, like a shaped, like a, you know, how we draw stars, you know? Kind of like something that you might top a Christmas tree with. But it did remind me of the star card, which was the first thing that came to mind. And that's about hope, wish fulfillment. It also can be about like related to Aquarius energy. It can be about like broader perspectives on like humanity and being like, and humanitarian thinking. So regardless, I do feel like regardless of if this energy that you're coming into with regards to relating to people is about a specific relationship or just in general, I do feel like for everyone here there is a shift in like the shift in your personal life reflects a shift in your relationship overall with life and with people in general, like your outlook on humanity. Like there's something there for you. It's something big is what it feels like. Okay, very interesting. Okay, that's it. All right, thank you group 4 so much for watching. If you want to, please share in the comments how this resonated and anything you want to share, anything that came through for you during this reading. If there's anything you got from like a star appearing in my mind's eye at the end, like maybe there's a symbol in that for you as well that's very specific. Yeah, like, subscribe if you feel called to do so. If you're interested in personal readings, you can check out sunflowerphilosophy.com. I'll put the link in the description. And if you're interested in hypnosis services, my mom and I are both certified consulting hypnotists, so we put our services also on sunflowerphilosophy.com. And so yeah, if you're interested in that as a tool for creating change in your life, you can also look into that. And we have a new podcast where we talk about hypnosis, among other things, like anything, like spiritual concepts, like books we're reading, whatever it is, we talk about like it through sort of like a spiritual, philosophical lens. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link to that in the description as well. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful life, and I will see you in another reading again sometime very soon. Bye!